Have you ever been in a conversation about, the weather or what someone did over the weekend, and you just feel your brain checking out? Well, if that sounds familiar, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to dig into the real reason your brain pushes back against small talk. And trust me, the answer is probably not what you think. You know the scene, right? You're at some event, there's a buzz of conversation all around you, but you're just quiet. And people look at you and they think, oh, they're just shy. Or worse, they think you're being standoffish, maybe even a little arrogant. But what if all of those labels are completely 100% wrong? Okay, now this right here changes the entire game. Your silence isn't a social problem, it's a cognitive filter. It means your brain is actively and consciously deciding to ignore information that it considers low value. It's a feature, not a bug. So first things first, let's just blow up this huge misconception that if you don't like small talk, there's something wrong with you socially. Here is the absolute key takeaway. Hating small talk is not a character flaw. In fact, psychology is telling us it's the total opposite. It's actually a sign of a highly complex brain, one that is wired for something much, much deeper. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What is actually going on inside your head when you're stuck in some superficial conversation? Well, it all comes down to your brain's reward system and a little chemical you've probably heard of called dopamine. Just look at the difference here. On one side, you have a shallow chit-chat. It's all repetitive topics, low-value information, and your brain gets basically zero reward from it. We're talking a low dopamine response. But then you have deep, meaningful conversation. Now we're talking complex ideas, high-value insights. That's what lights up your brain's reward center and gives you that awesome hit of dopamine that makes you feel alive and engaged. And this brings us to this really cool idea called the need for complexity. See, your brain isn't just a sponge soaking up whatever's around. No, it's an active hunter. It craves challenging input that builds new connections. And when it doesn't get that, it just disengages. It's not being rude. It's just looking for a better way to spend its energy. So, if it's not about being antisocial, what is it you're actually looking for? What's the real goal in a conversation? Well, the answer is a fascinating concept called mental resonance. Let's just get this straight, right here and now. This has absolutely nothing to do with hating people. That is such a common and frankly unfair assumption about people who tend to be a bit quieter. What you actually can't stand is that feeling of disconnect. You hate the lack of mental resonance. You know that feeling, right? When a conversation is just skating on the surface and never actually breaks the ice to connect on a real level. Mental resonance is all about finding that shared understanding. It's that aha moment when you and another person just click. It's about that desire for real cognitive depth. And at the end of the day, it's just wanting to connect with someone on a level that actually means something. Okay, our final point really ties this all together beautifully. It turns out that avoiding small talk isn't just a personal preference. It's a super efficient strategy your brain uses to save its power. I want you to think about your attention like the battery on your phone. You only have so much juice for the day, right? That's your cognitive energy. Every single thing you do, every thought, every conversation uses up a bit of that battery. And your brain, well, it's a brilliant energy manager. It wants to spend that power wisely. So here's the play-by-play that happens in a split second. You run into some chit-chat. Your brain immediately puts a big red flag on it, labeling it low value. Then it goes into power saver mode, conserving that precious cognitive energy, just waiting for a chance to dive into something deep and meaningful, the kind of stuff it really loves. So it's really time to reframe how you see this. What you're doing isn't social avoidance at all. It's cognitive efficiency. Your brain is just an incredible machine, constantly optimizing for meaning and saving its best performance for the conversations that truly matter. And that's really the question I want to leave you with. The next time you find yourself quiet while everyone else is talking, just remember this: your silence isn't empty. It's actually full of potential, just waiting for the right conversation. It's not an absence of words, it's a search for meaning in a world that's often filled with a lot of noise.